안녕하세요. 나는 마이클 스미스이에요. 만나서 반갑습니다. That's about all the Korean you'll get from me, unless you take me to the Suljip later, and then we can speak a little bit more. But as Tyler was mentioning some of the economic outlook and what we're seeing in foreign direct investment and economic activity, I really want to focus on more of the people-to-people relationships. How are these things actually being animated by our elected officials and our organizations, not only in California, but also the city of Los Angeles? So these are some of the things that I really want to stress. As we've seen in the national environment, there's been a little bit of a rollback with the willingness to engage on an international stage. We're taking more of a unilateral approach as opposed to more of a multilateralism approach as it comes to engaging these other countries. And I really feel like that California and the city of Los Angeles in particular are really trying to be more forward with its engagement, not only for business, but also for those people-to-people connections. So I kind of want to walk through what we're seeing at the World Trade Center Los Angeles and what we hope for in the future. But first, for those of you that don't know what the World Trade Center Los Angeles is, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, part of the Los Angeles Economic Development Corporation, which is why we're sharing time here today. Our main focus is really to help international businesses locate in LA County. And we have a four-pronged approach to that mission. One, how can we attract business to LA? Obviously, Hollywood is a very well-known industry here, but we have a myriad other industries that are ripe for investment, as Tyler rightly pointed out in his foreign direct investment analysis. Two, education. How do we show these companies how to access the market, how to navigate the market, who should they be talking to? And our stakeholders are varied, whether it be local governments, the consulates, international media like the Korea Daily, really showing them the importance of international investment here. Three, connection. This is the really biggest, I think, value add that our organization offers. How can we connect these businesses to resources to make them successful? How can we empower them to locate here in Los Angeles? And when they're here, how can we retain them and grow their jobs? Obviously, we love when they land in LA, but how do we keep them here to increase their impact and make sure they stay here for the long term? So everything that we do really focuses on this mission. The first thing I want to discuss is kind of the previous governor of the state of California and how he was really engaging on an international level. You see here the governor, Jerry Brown, was with President Xi Jinping talking about climate change. Obviously, climate change is a huge issue for California and is a perennial issue really for us. And here you see him really taking an active stance on looking for ways that California, its companies can engage in two-way exchanges in order to make sure that we're combating this crisis. In June of 2017, the governor went to China and signed 3 memorandums of understanding. It was actually one of the largest meetings and convenings of 2 leaders from California and in China, and these outcomes, I think, are really positive for what we're building on in the future. Those 3 MOUs were with the Ministry of Science and Technology, Sichuan Province, and also Jiangsu Province. And so for those of you that don't know what an MO to MOU is, it's an agreement that 2 countries or 2 cities or organizations create in order to make sure that they're working on things on a little bit more serious level without any legally binding aspects to it. If we move on to the current governor, he still has taken this proactive stance when it comes to engaging the world. You see a picture here with Lieutenant Governor Lainey Kounakis, actually conferring her and making her the top representative for international affairs and international trade throughout California. Now, this is the first time we've had such a distinguished leader really focusing on international trade and international affairs. The governor is also rebooting the California GoBiz China Trade Network that was created in 2012, really ensuring that we have a presence in the country of China to make sure that those investments are welcome and that they have the resources to come over to the state of California. And the governor's really putting the money where his mouth is. He's actually hiring about 8 staff just to work on these issues. And that's the largest amount of staff that we've seen in recent memory to work on international trade and investment. So all very, very positive signs. Just this last year, the governor has been in New York City for various climate summits, including the World Economic Forum for Sustainable Development. And just last month, the Armenian Prime Minister visited Los Angeles and California, where they signed an agreement with California to open up an Armenian trade service desk in the near future. Again, showing that proactive stance with engaging with the world and especially other countries. Just this last year, he also led a mission to El Salvador to focus on the growing refugee crisis there and how we in California can better help those individuals seeking shelter and refuge. If we take it down to the next level, talking about the city, Mayor Eric Garcetti, again, is incredibly outward-looking with his policies and his actions. You see here in this picture was from the 2018 trade mission that he went to Asia, where he stopped over in Seoul and actually signed a MOU agreement with the mayor of Seoul. This agreement was to enhance tourism going between Los Angeles and California. And from our side, we really see this as an opportunity to create the business component and the business aspect with that tourism. There's deep roots between Los Angeles and Korea, we know that, and we hope that more agreements like this can help us really capture all that activity. Mayor Garcetti has also traveled to some of our other partners, other large investing partners throughout the world, including Germany in 2017 to celebrate the 50th anniversary between the sister city relationship between our two cities. And one of the great things and the great outcomes, I think, of his international presence has been the tripartite economic agreement. This is an agreement between the cities of Auckland, New Zealand, the city of Los Angeles, and the city of Guangzhou to come together every year and host a different delegation on a different summit with government officials and businesses, really to explore the other ways that we can help one another and enhance our business ties. Garcetti, just like the governor, both last governor and Governor Newsom, really find that climate change is a pressing issue and has done multiple things under his administration to urge new business to be created and to make sure that we are combating this in a thoughtful way. And just this year, at the State of the City address, he announced the Green New Deal that the city signed that is actually trying to make 100% renewable energy by the year 2045. And we see that as, again, a big opportunity for international business. In the last 18 months, the mayor has signed a few MOUs with Hong Kong, Dubai, Vietnam, and of course Seoul that we saw previously. He also created an Office of International Affairs, the first time an LA mayor has created such an office, and he appointed Ambassador Nina Hachigian. She was the previous ambassador to ASEAN countries under the Obama administration as the first deputy mayor for international affairs. So again, really putting the resources and the staff behind what he believes is important. And of course, all of this is culminating in the Olympics in 2028, something that we are very excited about, and we think a lot of opportunities are going to be coming out of LA 2028. But before the Olympics, we actually have a number of opportunities within the sports and entertainment industry. And as a forecast, as we're looking forward, where are some of the things that international companies or local companies can come together and join partnerships? It is most definitely in sports and entertainment. Esports, the world's fastest growing sport, has a really strong home here in Los Angeles. We have more gaming companies here than anywhere else in the world. And League of Legends, the prize of all of esports, is actually coming back to North America in 2021, and we're hopeful that Los Angeles will be its recipient to host that game. The Super Bowl, also in 2021, one of the largest sporting events in the United States, is coming to Los Angeles, and we think there's a lot of opportunity there. FIFA World Cup, Los Angeles is one of the finalists for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And then finally, the US Open of golf. I know a lot of my Korean friends love golf, and so it's something that we are really excited about in 2024, coming back to LA Country Club. And an interesting quote from the LA Times just this last year, they said, Los Angeles will be the center of the sporting universe for the next decade. And so whether it be fan experience, digital marketing, security, transportation, all these solutions are going to be necessary to make sure that these events run smoothly. And that's something that we're really trying to attract international companies here in LA to take part of this next decade of booming business. So I kind of want to touch on where we stand on a national level. I'm sure Mr. Clouden will talk a little bit more about this with his relationship and his remarks, but I think it's important to see where do we stand with the United States and Korea and the world. And I think the Korea Free Trade Agreement is a great place to look. In 2017, we really had this vociferous sort of dialogue around it, taking away the chorus, but in 2018 we decided that perhaps amendments were the right way to go. So what we did, or what the United States government did, was try to fix some of the issues when it comes to some of the processing of exports, as well as some of the merchandising trade deficit. And so a few things were changed when it comes to automobiles, some of the protectionist policies around that, pharmaceuticals, and textiles as well. But we don't see too much happening or too much effect on the Los Angeles economy, and I'll tell you why. That's because there's really no large changes to the imports and the exports of LA when it comes to these amendments and these rules. So while Tyler said that, yes, we are seeing an increase in economic and trade activity, we don't think that these amendments to this agreement should affect us negatively too much. So then why should we care? Well, it's important that we should care because trade policies affect the investing environment. It affects capital markets and how investors perceive a potential risk and where they should invest. And so when we see these things happening and these agreements coming or perhaps not coming, it's a signal to the investors of whether they should be bringing their money here or not. So this is why I think it's important that we focus on what's happening at the state level and the city level and how we're having an active presence on the international stage, but also what's happening at the national level. I want to end with a couple success stories of how we bring this all together, the people-to-people relationships, our work abroad, and we've had some really good stories from Korean companies, actually. GSMAT America is an LED company located here in Los Angeles, the North American headquarters, and they came to us at a time where they wanted to double their workforce. And so we worked with them, provide them with the right partners so they could actually have the right employees and again, grow and stay here. The King Sejong Institute, very cultural institution from Korea, recently opened a new office in downtown Los Angeles, and we were fundamental in making sure that they understood exactly what they needed, whether it be permitting and all those ancillary services to make that investment successful. And lastly, Dynamic Biogas is a company that works with methane capture. While they're actually not a Korean company, I think it just shows the environment around climate change and around the policies to promote new businesses that have climate solutions and why it's important. So with that, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it, and we look forward to speaking with you and seeing you throughout the rest of the day. 감사합니다.
Okay, thank you so much.